Atma, Namaste, and welcome to the August 2015 Full Moon Meditation. Before we start, let's ask for divine blessings. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the spiritual elders, to all the holy masters, to all the saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, to my beloved and respected teacher, Grandmaster Tuakok Sui, Mahaguru Jimeling, all the high beings we humbly invoke for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, help, healing, and divine protection. Thank you for blessing us with a loving heart, an intelligent mind, and a powerful will, that we may serve God and be of service to humanity. We thank you in full faith. And so it is. Right, welcome to the Full Moon Meditation for August. And, as we always start, we just give a short talk on different topics. But before we do that, a lot of you are joining us for the first time. So you might be wondering why we're doing our meditation during the full moon. And anyway, we'll just give you a short synopsis. Essentially, during the full moon, there's massive amounts of energy pouring into the earth. And it has a fertilizing effect on whatever people have. So, as you know, most people live very busy lives. They have a lot of stress. So, when that fertilizer comes in, everything comes to the surface. So that's why you always hear of stories of, people who work in the hospitals, people who work in highly stressful areas. During the full moon, things just go crazy. All right, we have students that work in the hospital say there's more stabbings, more accidents, more things, more activities in the emergency room. We even have a student who works at a jail and said that during the full moon, the inmates are a little more stimulated. All right, and we know people who are normally emotionally stable, but during the full moon, man, it's just like every little thing could trigger them. So this has to do with the magnification effect. That's one. And since the topic today has to do with the astral world or the emotional world or the inner worlds in general, another thing is as above, so below. The way Grandmaster Cho explains it is, whatever happens to different planets, different heavenly bodies, it has a certain resonance that happens to our chakras. And guess what? It just so happened during the full moon, the energy of the moon is very, very strong, and it has a strong effect on our astral or emotional body. And the moon controls the tides, and the tide goes up and goes down. So just imagine that quality is magnified during the full moon. So there you have it. And in Spanish they call the moon Luna. That's where the word lunatic came from. All right, and you hear of stories where people do their rituals during the full moon. You have stories of what do they call these things, werewolf syndrome. People go crazy at that time. All of it has the magnification effect. However, the good news is the people on the spiritual path, you can harness that magnification effect to magnify the cleansing effect that can be done. In other words, you can use that energy like a big strong hose to just flush out negative energy out of our system. That's why we choose to meditate at that time, just have the strong cleansing effect. We can also use it to magnify the good qualities within us. So as we meditate on love, kindness, compassion. So that also gets magnified. And the last part is our projects, our thoughts, our goals, our aspirations. So after the meditation, we have all this energy, all this fuel, all this juice, right? Then you just pour it onto the projects you want, all right? So instead of being a victim, you use that energy actually to help us accomplish a lot of what we need more energy for. All right, so there's your synopsis. Now, what Grandmaster Cho said before is, during full moon, you have the meditation with a group. You should also use that time to share spiritual teachings. And so that's what we do every month if you've been joining us. This time, instead of picking a topic, we look for things that people write in. And there's many, many questions, and we do our best to get to them. So instead of enumerating all these questions, the question essentially is about the energy world, the inner world. All right? People wrote in and said, oh, I saw some stuff in my dreams. How come I cannot remember it when I wake up? You have people that say, oh, I have, visions of teachers, of saints, of great spiritual beings. How do we communicate with them? All right, what else? How do I become more sensitive when I meditate to feel stuff? What else? How do I remember my dreams? How do I become more lucid? And all these other things. First of all, if you look through our archives, there's a specific part on just dreams. We went through it in detail, but we'll talk a little bit about that. So basically, let's start from scratch. What is the inner world? In most spiritual teachings, they talk about inner world and the outer world. Of course, you don't take it literally. Inner world, that means, you slice your body open. Whoop, inner world. That's not what it means. So it's called inner world contrasted to the outer world, the outer physical tangible world compared to the invisible, intangible, at least not to the five senses of touching, tasting, smelling. What am I missing? Seeing, yeah? Anyway, the five senses. So they call that realm that is beyond the five senses the inner world. Now, this inner world is just like a dimension, but it actually is a series of frequencies. All right? So it's just like a building. You have different floors. In the energy world, there are also many floors, or many floors or many stories, as they say. So these floors and stories are just different frequencies of existence. For example, if you have a radio, right? You have an AM radio, AM, and you have FM all in one box. So by flicking a switch, guess what? You didn't move the box. All you did was flick the frequency, so it's now tuning to a higher frequency. Make sense? Another one. You perceive things. You perceive things through touch, right? You can perceive that same thing with, you can smell how it smells like. You can perceive, if you can hear anything coming off it, and you can even taste it. So essentially, the inner world, there are many different frequencies. Just like, physical touch, it's very solid. What you hear vibrates higher. You don't see it, right? What you see, what you visualize, you smell. So these are just basically existence of certain frequencies or realities, but they interpenetrate. Are you with me so far? So when it comes to the inner world, what we try to do is we try to understand how does it affect us and how do we access those places, right? So to make it simple, here are the ways you access the inner worlds. 1, through meditation. 2, when your body sleeps, your soul, made of pure energy, travels to these different dimensions. And what else? And the third one, as you spiritually develop more, you're physically functioning, you're talking to people, you're smelling, you're seeing, you're touching. At the same time, you are able to see the energy world or sense the inner worlds interpenetrating the physical one. That's what you call clairvoyance. So sometimes you're talking to people and you start seeing light around them, or you're talking to someone and you see a vision in your inner eye, or you're talking to someone, you have an inner knowing. So these are accessing the inner worlds in other ways. All right, so let's break it down. First of all, meditation. You will notice in meditation, what do? You immobilize the body. You try to sit very, very still, right? Comfortable chair that your body doesn't move. Then after that, what happens? If your body's still, you start to sense your emotions. So, am I happy, sad, stressed out, calm, whichever. So you're sensing the emotions. So from the physical body, you start sensing something more subtle, which is the emotions, right? Then at some point, there are different ways of doing it. We'll talk about this later. You do whatever you need to do, calm your emotions. So emotionally, no stress, calm. And guess what happened? Your mind starts to jump all over the place, right? So the body calms down, it triggers the emotions. The emotions wake up a little bit, then it comes down. As that comes down, your mind, or to be more exact, your mental faculty starts roaming around. You start thinking of this, thinking of that, right? So what you try to do? You try to quiet your mind. So as you quiet your mind, there's stillness. Then some of you, as you experience this stillness, you start sensing something very subtle, vibrating higher. Some of you start seeing lights. Some of you start getting this euphoric sensation, which you call bliss. So what happens is, in that small amount of time in meditation, you're able to access physical, emotional, mental, and let's just say the higher spiritual worlds. So meditation is very, very important because it allows you to temporarily, the keyword is temporarily mute, or not really turn off, but mute, like bring down the influence of the physical body, the emotions and the thoughts. So at that point, you can go higher and higher into the energy worlds. So that's one of the fastest ways to access the energy world, the inner worlds, right? The other way is when you dream. So essentially what happens is, as your body sleeps, your soul, being made of pure energy, part of it stays in the body to keep the body alive, to recharge itself. Part of it rides your emotional body, one of your other, vehicles, energy vehicles, to travel in the energy world. So that's what we call dreams. And the interesting part is something like this. You might as well answer it. How come a lot of people don't remember their dreams? There are many, many factors. Don't want to go into too much detail because a lot of you are new. But we'll just make it something that you can easily relate to. Okay, number one. It has to do with what happened before your body fell asleep. The way Master Cho explained is something like this. At night, when your soul is moving from the physical body to the emotional body, essentially, if this is the aura of the person, like a cocoon, when a person is stressed out, the aura is full of stress, anger, negativity, either self-generated or other people. It's like in a cocoon of clouds. So at night, when the soul is moving, a big portion of its energy to the emotional body, it's just like going from one of your cars to your next car. In that interim time, as the soul is traveling, it's enveloped or shrouded by all those thoughts and emotions. So as you enter the emotional body and you go traveling, it's just like, driving with a tint. A tint you tend to make it the car darker so the sun doesn't go in. But instead of even having it on the outside, you have it on the inside. So in other words, we're shrouded with all the emotional stuff we went through before going to bed. So of course you cannot see out. So if you cannot see out, you cannot maneuver. You get my point? So one of the ways that Master Cho says is, before you go to bed, settle your mind, your emotions, your thoughts, do a prayer, do a short meditation to just purify stuff. So as you clean the energy field, when the soul enters the emotional body, it can see. So that's part one. The ability to, quote unquote, see or perceive where you're going. That's the first part. The second part, it has to do with the sensitivity of your brain. You see, our brains were not originally, eons and eons ago, were not trained to register beyond the five senses, right? So sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, okay, those five senses, you use those, your physical body goes through it during the day. But at night when your body sleeps, those five senses are substantially muted. Of course, then the smell one is not as much, so you can smell smoke if needed, right? Anyway, so when you're doing meditation, spiritual practice, or when your body's sleeping, those five senses are muted down. So whatever happens in frequencies that your brain tries to register in the higher worlds are not something your brain is used to. So in the morning, you always hear people write it down. So when you write things down, it forces your brain to recall and to register what those subtle, I remember flying through a city. Oh, I remember I met this person. So as you write, you're forcing your brain to be able to capture, register, and so that next time it's easier to remember more. Are you with me so far? So that's one way. Of course, then we put things together. You'll notice when you meditate, some of you see stuff, sense stuff. You also notice your dreams seem to be more vivid. Okay, this is part of the more inner, deeper teachings, which I know some of you already know, some of you are new. If you don't mind, I'll just introduce it right now because it'll require lots and lots of explanation. But if you look at our previous videos or you read Grandmaster Cho's books, especially Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul, he goes in more detail. There's this energy at the lower part of your spine called Kundalini energy. This Kundalini energy, just imagine it's a certain ingredient. As it enters your brain and your nervous system, upgrades your hardware so it can register a higher signal. For example, if I have a black and white television, it can only register black and white signals as the signals go by, right? Even though there's color signals going in the vicinity, the hardware cannot register the color signals because it just can't, the hardware cannot register it. It's just like trying to make an AM radio register FM signals. So in order to get color signals, you have to change your TV, upgrade your hardware. Luckily, we don't have to upgrade our hardware physically, as in change your brain and your nervous system. All you have to do is infuse it with a certain energy called Kundalini energy. You can study up on it. And it starts being more sensitive. It's to sensitize your brain. Now, that said, put it all together. When you do your meditation, if you have a right teacher, that teacher will teach you certain simple techniques of gently and safely awakening your so-called Kundalini energy, right? When little by little this energy goes to our brain and nervous system, when you meditate, it gets faster and faster to register those higher frequencies because your brain is more sensitive. Number two, when your body's sleeping, same thing. As the brain is asleep, well, not really asleep, the physical body is asleep, as that signal goes into your brain, as you go traveling in the energy world, when you come back in the morning, your brain is so ready to receive those signals and interpret it. So your body wakes up, I remember this, I remember that, I remember this. You get my point? Now, let's put that aside. Meditation, sleeping. Let's talk about clairvoyance. The word clairvoyance literally means clear seeing. The question is clear seeing what? There are many, many levels of interpretation. One is, in order for you to see energetically while your body's awake, you have to see through your aura. So if the energy body is dirty, it's just like looking through a glass that's full of mud. You're gonna, oh, can I see it? You can't, right? So clairvoyance, or the ability to see clearly, is dependent also on your spiritual practice and the cleanliness of your aura. So by the time you put everything together, guess what? As we do our spiritual practice, not only during the full moon, but on a regular basis, daily, several times a week, you are flushing the aura clean. You're cleaning this, windscreen or windshield in front of you. You're cleaning the energy centers so that when you're meditating, you're able to sense what's going on and see it. Your dreams become more vivid. And when you're doing healing, sometimes you're talking to someone, you get to see clearly what the other person's telling you, even if they don't say it. Sometimes you get a strong hunch, a gut feeling. You see something around their head, you get a picture in your head. All of that comes from what? Spiritual development. So when you put it all together, the exploration of the inner worlds is dependent on the development of the soul. As you do your spiritual practice more, as the soul develops more, it's able to tap into higher and higher frequencies. So when all is said and done, it is your spiritual practice that allows you not only to have a fulfilling physical earthly life, but also a fulfilling inner life. All right? Now, a few things. People always ask, well, what do I see and how do I interpret it? This is quite complicated. Although there are a lot of books that are written about dreams, about what you see in the energy world, there are many, many, many factors involved. Factor number one, before you go to bed, before you do your meditation, how are you emotionally at that time? Do you notice that if you had a strong discussion with someone, emotionally charged discussion with someone before you go to bed, you have a tendency to dream about it? You watch a movie, you watch a TV show, television show where it's very, very intense, or something you're so engrossed in. It doesn't have to be emotional. It could be very, very, captivating. There's a tendency, sometimes body cannot go to sleep, or when it does, you start dreaming about it. Because whatever is happening in the energy body, those thoughts and emotions, especially the emotional and mental bodies, when your body falls asleep, it has a tendency to cling to the soul as it travels. We talked about that earlier. So if you want to have a clear image of what's going on, clean the aura and the chakras before you go to bed. Right? Okay. Now, what else? It also has to do with what your studies are. People say, oh, a snake means this. You see a dragon, it means that. You see, something like the snake in the Western world, or the dragon, is oftentimes looked as something unpleasant, not good, right? Snake bites, a dragon burns villages. That's in the Western world. But if you go to the Eastern world, it's different. A snake is oftentimes the symbol of wisdom, especially somebody who's Indian. To Chinese, Korean, Japanese, they look at dragon not as destructive, but something that is very helpful, very loving. It's a sign of good luck and prosperity. You see what I'm saying? So it depends on what your learning is. But as you study further and you are able to cross these different cultural differences, then it's something like this. Oftentimes you see images of saints, right? In the Chinese tradition, they're standing on dragons. In the Hindu tradition, you see a cobra on top of a yogi. So this snake and dragon is a symbol of the Kundalini energy, that powerful force we talked about. It's already waking up in your system a little more than normal, right? Because everybody's awakened. If you don't have a chance to study this in a short time, go ahead and get the book, Achieving Oneness with the Higher Soul. Take the class in your area. It talks about it. Everybody's so-called Kundalini energy is awakened. Otherwise, you'd be dead. It's not on or off. It's how much. All right? Anyway, so as more of this energy is in your brain, you start to see things a little clearer. Your brain is more sensitive to register the spiritual signal, which comes with information. So you'll notice your meditations and your dreams become more vivid, because enough of that energy is going in there. So when you start seeing snake and dragon, all these things, then basically what is happening is it's giving you like an indicator that, hey, whatever your spiritual practice is, it's awakening this inner force within you. All right. Another one, eyes. That's the one that a lot of people talk about. Oh, I was doing deep meditation. I see this big eye looking at me, and it's like, ooh, a big eye. So the way Master Cho explained it is, if it's one eye, okay, one gigantic eye, either horizontal or vertical, that is your higher soul or your higher self trying to communicate with you. If it's many, many eyes, eyes looking around everything, those are our spiritual teachers and guides. So the way I was taught by the teachers, when you're in your meditation, you see a lot of eyes. You do your salutation, the energy world, right? Like you give your proper respect and be humble enough to ask for guidance. And from there, whatever happens, happens. Now, one thing to remember. The way my teacher, Master Choa Kok Sui, explained it is something like this. Your crown chakra is the chakra of universal love, divine love. It is also the chakra of formlessness. What is it? Formlessness. So as you do your spiritual practice, as the crown becomes more developed, you're able to access higher and higher frequencies. Yes? All right. Now, the interesting part is these higher frequencies are formless. What is it? Formless. So the way Master Cho explains it is just lights. Lights moving around. In fact, one time I asked him, I said, Master, how come a lot of these spiritual teachings, Theosophy, teachings by Alice Bailey, Buddhism, it often talks about the fiery world. Like fire? And I was trying to figure out what it means. Is there a lot of fire in there? Then he explained, no. Because the fire world, the movement of fire and energy, things like that, it's an easy way to describe what is happening in the energy world. So just imagine you have fire, you have lights, things move around, swirl around. So it's all energy. Lights, right? And here's the kicker. Our brains interpret and gives it a certain form that we can understand. Okay? So if you study the chakra system, Spiritual Essence of Men class, the book, you've been in the classes, you remember the crown, you have forehead, you have ajna, and your throat. So the crown chakra, just imagine it just like a big funnel absorbing all this data. It's just the raw data, just lights. Then your forehead chakra, the chakra of clairvoyance, you read it in the books. This is the real third eye. I know some of you are to the third eye here. Anyway, just go to the classes, read the books, you'll understand. The forehead chakra is actually the real third eye, and this is the one that takes all that data, just raw data, just lights, gives it form. Oh, it looks like this, it looks like that. And then the ajna chakra, in the Spiritual Essence of Man class, in the Tree of Life, this is called bina, or understanding. So what it does, it takes this data, now in certain shapes and forms, right? The ajna chakra makes you understand what this data is. Like it synthesizes all these different things that the crown that brings in, the forehead gives it form, and the ajna try to understand what it is. That's why in the Tree of Life, this is called bina, or understanding. Remember? Then as that information comes down, your throat gives it the details. So a lot of these things that happen in the energy world, in your meditation, in your dreams, in your waking moment, when you get ideas, when you get information, can easily be understood once you understand the chakras. Now, one thing before we go into meditation. It is very, very important to develop your mind. To be more specific, your mental faculty. Without the development of the mental faculty, it gets stuck here. In other words, if the ajna and the throat, these are connected to your mental faculties. This is abstract thinking. This is concrete or detailed thinking. If these two are not developed, all you see is images. You see the images, and guess what? It's subject to any interpretation. So without the development of mental faculty, guess what? Anything goes. One day you see, oh, I see a beautiful flower. It means this. It means that a flower is going to be blooming in my garden. How'd you come back with that conclusion? I don't know. It feels like it. You get my point? The development of mental faculty allows you to interpret accurately what you see in the energy world. That's why study is very, very important. You don't just meditate, bliss out of your mind. Oh, yeah, I feel good. That's good to feel good, is basically it. But if you want to develop spiritually, it's very, very important to study, study, study. That's why it's very important to have a spiritual teacher. When you have a spiritual teacher, whoever that spiritual teacher is, gives you guidance. Oh, when you see this, this means that, and this is how you apply it in your life. You get my point? Now, can you spiritually develop with a teacher? Yes, you can. The question is, what are you going to base all these things you see? Oh, in what I feel is right. Well, if that morning you had a bad dinner, you had a bad breakfast, and you had a bad lunch, so that night the food has not digested well, your cell went traveling, gathered all this data, but since the physical body is not that well, it affected your feelings. That time you don't feel so well. So anything that you see is now tinged with a negative feeling. That's what happens. You get my point? So studying is very, very important. Read good spiritual books, attend classes, fellowship with your fellow spiritual practitioners. These are very, very important for spiritual development, so that the sensing factor and the interpreting factor works well together. The funny part, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, actually to be more specific, in the New Testament, you heard of speaking in tongues, and we often ask this in class. You're meditating, suddenly somebody's going, speaking some strange language. So in the New Testament, with St. Paul, he says, that's good and nice, but it doesn't do anybody good if you don't have another one interpreting it. It's just like you have the raw data. Without the ability to interpret the raw data, it's useless. So the ajna in the throat, the development of the mind, the mental faculty, is very, very important to help you interpret what you sense in the energy world, the inner worlds, and use it in your life. All right? That's one of the reasons why we go to these esoteric study groups. If you haven't attended any of our classes, these videos we're doing are free, doesn't cost you anything, because hopefully, as you have your spiritual experiences, these teachings will help you understand them better. And as you understand them better, you will be able to apply them in your life. And the most important part of all, not just for yourself, but to use it to help others. All right? So that's that. I hope you learned something in this short question and answer. I realized that I didn't go to all the questions, but there's so many of them. We just pick out the important parts, and summarize it into certain topics. I hope that helps. Anyway, you're welcome to give us feedback if you like it. You don't like it, it was boring. You're falling asleep. You're already meditating before we started, as in snoring meditation. That's fine. All right. So, shall we meditate? When you get up and do some shaking first. We sat down. That was a half an hour already. All right. You ready? Okay. Have a seat. So we're going to cleanse the aura. We'll practice stillness. And let's see what happens. All right. Let's ask for blessings. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to all the spiritual elders, to all the holy masters, to all the saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, to my beloved and respected teacher, Grandmaster Chua Kok Sui, Mahaguji Meiling, all the high beings, we thank you for divine light, divine love, divine guidance, help, healing, protection. Thank you for purifying our souls. Thank you for purifying our energy bodies, our chakras, and an entire energy system, that we may be super receptive, super conductive to the divine blessings, guidance, help, and protection that comes from God to all the high spiritual beings. We thank you for all this in full faith. So it is. All right, you ready? So put your hands on your heart. We'll do the I am affirmation by Master Cho to increase our connection, and then we'll take you up. I am that I am. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotion. I'm not the thoughts. I am the soul. I'm a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am the soul. Now allow your awareness to just rise above your crown. I am the soul. I'm connected in one to my higher soul. Now just let your awareness rise higher like a balloon. Let it go higher. I'm connected in one with the divine spirit, the divine spark in me. I'm a child of God. I'm one with God. I'm one with all. I am that I am. One with God, one with all. Just stay there. Just let go. You're not the body, you're not the emotion, not the thoughts, you're the soul. You're a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. You're one and connected to a higher soul. You are one and connected to the divine spirit in you. You are a child of God. You are one with God. You are one with all. So it is. There's a mantra or words of power called Om Namo Para Brahman Om. It means I, the soul, or I, the spiritual self, salute the absolute supreme God. Om is Om, Namo is I salute, Para Brahman, Para is supreme, Brahman is God, the supreme God. Om is like so be it, right? So just listen, allow your awareness to rise as high as possible. Listen and allow the vibration to fill your entire being, and let's be super receptive to the blessings of the Supreme God. Om Namo Para Brahman. Om Namo Para Brahman. Om Namo Para Brahman. Just let go. We're one with God, we're one with all. Om Namo Para Brahman. Om Namo Para Brahman. Om Namo Para Brahman. Allow your awareness to just expand from where you are. Expand through your city. Let it expand through your country. Let your awareness just expand throughout the entire earth. Let it expand past the earth. Just let your awareness just expand and grow throughout the solar system, the galaxy, and just let it expand and let it flow. The very existence of the universe, the universes, is the existence of the absolute supreme God. Om Namo Para Brahman. We are one with the absolute supreme God, have always been one. We're one with God, we're one with all. There's only oneness. Regardless of the ability of our brain and nervous system to register this, we are always one with God and one with all. So it is. Be still, be aware, and just simply let go. Now. Let go. Completely let go. There's only oneness. Maintain your stillness and awareness. Maintain your state of oneness. Gently open your hands in blessing position. That's focused on our beloved planet, Mother Earth. We will do the meditation Twin Hearts as taught to us by Grandmaster Chokok Sui, but we'll do it in a spirit of oneness and in a state of oneness. Be aware of your heart and your hands. Visualize the earth. Fill it with beautiful, pink, loving energy from your heart through your hands. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Wherever there's hatred anywhere in the world, let me sow love. From your heart, bless every person, every being, through your hands with peace and with love. Where there's injury, let me sow pardon and forgiveness. Bless the people that we have hurt, and bless the people who have hurt us. All deserve peace, love, and forgiveness. So be it. Where there's doubt, faith, where there's despair, hope. May all who are suffering through wars, conflicts, poverty, negativity, any kind of suffering, may all of them be blessed with hope and faith in a better life. With God, all is possible. May their life radically and massively improve. So be it. So be it. So be it. Bless your family, your friends who are having difficult times. Bless them. May their life tremendously and massively improve. So be it. So be it. Where there is darkness, let me sow light. Where there is sadness, let me sow joy. In our state of oneness, be aware of our hearts. Bless the entire earth with peace, with love, with a spirit of forgiveness, with hope and faith, with light and lots of joy. So be it. Now put your gentle attention on your crown. If you like, be aware of your heart. Take a deep breath. Lift it up. Be aware of your crown and your hands. Bless the earth with beautiful golden light. From the heart of all loving God, through my crown, through our crowns, through our hands, may every person, every being on earth, without exception, be blessed with loving kindness. Let all be blessed with great joy and happiness, with understanding, harmony, and divine peace. Let all be blessed without any exception. So be it. Bless your family, your loved ones with beautiful golden light, the people you work with, the place, the city you live in, the country. Let the loving golden energy spread everywhere, throughout the entire earth. So be it. Let all be blessed with love, with peace, and with kindness. So be it. No exceptions. God's love for all. So it is. Now, be aware of your heart and your crown together. Maintain your state of oneness with God and oneness with all. Just say, we are one. We are one with God. We are one with all. And in that state of oneness, we bless our beloved Mother Earth. So be aware of your heart and your crown. Just let lots and lots of golden light from your heart and your crown just flow through your hands, to our hands as one, blessing Mother Earth. Just imagine gigantic rivers of golden light pouring down to the earth. From the heart of God, from the center of the heart of God, through our soul, through our entire being. Let every person, every being on earth, in the higher worlds, the middle worlds, even the lower worlds, in all 8 directions above and below, let all beings, let all sentient beings in all dimensions be blessed with loving kindness. Let all be blessed with inner peace and inner healing. Let all beings be blessed with understanding, harmony, goodwill, and the willingness to do good. So be it. So be it, so be it, and so it is. Let all be blessed unconditionally. So be it. So it is. Feel the divine blessings flow through us as one. As you keep repeating, we are one, we are one, we're one with God, we are one with all. Let these blessings pass through us as we bless our beloved Mother Earth and all her inhabitants. So be it. So be it, and so it is. Now lower your hands on your lap, palms up. Just be still. On top of your crown, imagine a beautiful, beautiful golden flame. Just look at that golden flame. Be still. Be aware of the love within your heart. Send a stream of loving energy from your heart up, up, up to the golden flame. And stay there. Be aware of the golden flame and be aware of the silence in between each Om. Let your awareness just dissolve into that space in between each Om. Let go. Let go. Amen. Amen. Om. Be still. Be aware. And just completely let go. Now, any sound, any noise you hear will just prepare you deeper and deeper into that stillness. So it is. Let go. Gently, slowly, come back to your body. Gently and slowly come back to your body. Move your fingers. Move your toes. Gently and slowly come back to your body right now. Take your time. Just come back. Now raise your hand in blessing position. Visualize your family in front of you. May all of them be blessed with good health, with happiness, with prosperity and spirituality. So be it. Bless your job, your career with success, with progress and advancement. So be it. Now be aware of your feet and the base of your spine. Imagine golden light going down, down, down to Mother Earth. Just imagine the earth below you is filled with gold. Let our beloved Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, divine love, and divine power. Let our beloved Mother Earth be healed, regenerated, revitalized. Blessings be to Mother Earth now. So be it. So be it. All right. Now, pull out your projects. I know a lot of you have them in front of you to be blessed. As we do meditation, so much energy is flowing through us. We pack it with lots of energy. The ones who were with us yesterday with Manifest Goodness session, if you like your projects ultra super blessed and charged, hey, put it in front of you. The ones who are new, what we usually do is, if you have any goals, aspirations, a better job, more money, better relationship, better health, picture that in front of you if you haven't written down, and we just channel all this energy to it. Okay? So everybody raise your hands like this. Have your projects in front of you. Okay, you ready? Okay, just put your hand like this. Now fill it with golden light. With the blessings of God, with the help of my teacher, Master Tohok Sui Mahaguji Miling, and all the high beings, all the spiritual elders, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers, we humbly invoke for your blessings. May all our goals, aspirations, and projects, may all these be blessed. So be it. We humbly ask that may all these be blessed to materialize according to God's will. So be it. Materialize properly now. So be it. Just be super receptive. Let the energy flow through you. Visualize all your projects materializing, manifesting according to the divine order and the divine plan. Keep going, keep blessing with lots of golden light. Keep going, keep blessing. So be it. Keep blessing. So be it. Bless your family. May their life be blessed with happiness and joy and good health. Your parents, your children, your relatives, your loved ones. So be it. Bless your job, your career with lots of success and advancement and progress. So be it. Bless your country. If your economy is being affected, let God's blessing be upon your country. The economy be improved. May people be uplifted from their suffering. So be it. If anyone needs healing, your loved ones, your friends, may all of them be blessed with divine light. Visualize them in good health, recovering from whatever ailments they have. With God, all is possible. We humbly invoke God's blessings to flow through us to bless these people. So be it. May all be blessed with divine light, divine love, peace, joy, happiness, good health, happiness, and prosperity. So be it, and so it is. Tatastu, so it is. So it is. All right. How was it? Good? All right, let's give thanks. to the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. We thank you to my beloved teacher, Master Chokhok Sui Mahaguji Mailing, all the great ones, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. We thank you all. To my teacher again, Master Chokhok Sui Mahaguji Mailing, thank you. Thank you all for the blessings. In full faith, so it is. All right, so thank you very much for joining us. Just a few announcements. Today, what's today? Friday? Okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Monday, we finished the 31-day meditation challenge. A lot of you have joined us, and one of the things that you said is it puts you back on track on meditation, so it's still up. All right, so make sure you take advantage of it. Really do your practice in meditation. So it, number one, it's to thank our teacher for coming up with these teachings, and the other one is, of course, to set a pattern for us to continue our spiritual practice. All right. Last few things. Make sure you leave some comments for us. Let us know if you like it, you didn't like it, you fell asleep, got bored, whatever. It doesn't matter. Feedback is good because we know how to improve ourselves. And the other one is, if you want to, you can help contribute to this free video ministry. We like to keep our ministry free so that more and more souls can be, touched by these spiritual teachings. So if you like to help with expenses, great. If not, don't worry about it. But if you do, may God richly bless you many, many times with good health, happiness, and lots of prosperity. And I think that's it. All right. Atma. Atma means soul. Namaste. You guys take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.